I want you to imagine a situation in which you're in the middle of nowhere. You don't have any personal items such as a phone or a compass or any other directional finding device. All you have is your watch. You're lost. How are you going to find your way home? Well, there are a number of tricks that have been devised over the years using the celestial bodies to orient yourself to the four cardinal directions. I myself like to challenge myself to orient myself when I'm in a new location to those four cardinal directions. And at night, I've spent numerous hours outside observing how the moon, planets, and the stars can do the same. So, today I'm going to show you how you can use a watch as a compass, how you can analyze shadows to find which direction they're pointing, and finally, how you can use a crescent moon to find the southern horizon. So, how can you use a watch to find south? Well, as Leo Kent states in his 2015 article, 5 Ways to Find North Without a Compass, if you point the hour hand of a watch at the sun and split the difference between the hour hand and the 12 o'clock position, that middle ground will be pointing directly south. Let me illustrate. Right now, we can see that it's 4 o'clock. If we split the difference between the 4 o'clock, if we point the 4 o'clock position, the hour hand specifically, at the sun, and split the difference between it and the 12 o'clock position, we see that the 2 o'clock position is what will be pointing directly south. Now, you'll be using a watch to do this instead of a clock, and you'll be holding it horizontally in order for it to work more like a compass. Now, daylight savings is going to throw a little bit of a monkey wrench into this trick, because you'll have to use the 1 o'clock position instead of the 12 o'clock position during those months. And during daylight savings, we've essentially wound back 1 hour from 1 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And so in order to make sure we're using the exact same time year round, we need to adjust that during these daylight savings months. Now, if you have a digital watch, you aren't out of luck, as long as you have the correct time. As Guy Campbell notes in his 2008 book, Boy's Book of Survival, How to Survive Anything, Anywhere, all you have to do is sketch out a clock face on a piece of paper and use your digital watch to properly place the hour hand there. Now you have a functional model of an analog watch that you can use as a compass for the same trick. Now, speaking of shadier things, you can use shadows to estimate the direction based on the time of day. In the morning, shadows are pointing in a westerly direction, and throughout the course of the day, they cross through the northwest, to the north at noon, and in the afternoon, the northeast, and finally pointing east just before sunset. The reason they don't cross directly overhead is because here in the northern hemisphere, the sun doesn't pass directly over our heads. It crosses across the southern sky. And so, keeping this in mind, we can determine which direction you're facing based on the time of day and the direction the shadow is pointing. So, as long as you know how to follow the shadows throughout the day, you can use these to orient yourself. Now, when you're in the shadow of the earth, it's nighttime and you don't have the sun, but you do have the moon. If you have a crescent moon, you can use that moon to find the southern horizon. If you connect the 2 horns, if you will, of a crescent moon and extend that line down to the horizon, that line will be pointing to the southern horizon, as indicated by uh, the natural navigator, how to navigate using the moon. In the northern hemisphere, this is going to indicate the southern horizon, and if you use this trick in the southern hemisphere, that will be indicating the northern horizon. So, in conclusion, there are many ways to find which way is north and to orient yourself to the cardinal directions using celestial bodies. I've only shared a few with you. Today you've learned how to use a watch as a compass, how to analyze shadows to determine which direction you're facing, and how to use the moon, specifically a crescent moon, to find the southern horizon. So, if you ever do find yourself in that hypothetical situation in the middle of nowhere, now you are properly equipped to find your way home.